It's crunch time for umbrella funds in South Africa because the industry is now at a stage of maturity where this is a major part of the market, comprising more than 1.5 million retirement fund members and more than 150 billion rand of assets. The National Treasury in the budget this year said they need now to review this model carefully, consult with industry and decide the best way forward. The Sanlam Employee Benefits Benchmark Survey this year uncovered many positive signals about the umbrella fund industry. For example, clients are much more aware of charges than they ever have been. We started measuring this in 2010 and we've seen a quantum leap in awareness of charges. And in fact, that's reflected in charges having decreased as a percentage of assets from 0.9% of assets to about 0.7% of assets. It's a nice decrease over the year. And clients are much more going to the market, they're testing the competitiveness. So we've seen product providers having to provide better value proposition to clients. And possibly another thing is we've seen clients having very high levels of satisfaction with their chosen product providers. So quite a few good signals. There were a few key challenges as far as umbrella funds are concerned. One possible concern is maybe the market is not as competitive as we would like in the long term. There seem to be now 5 major players who are completely dominating the market. They've got the vast majority of the market share, and we're not really seeing any significant new entrants entering the market. So possibly the barriers to entry are too high. Another concern would be the legal framework. It does seem to be taking a long time to resolve any legal disputes if there are administration problems. We've seen court cases that are taking years to resolve. Maybe it's not the most consumer-friendly legislation that we could have, and I think maybe we just need to revisit this a little bit and maybe identify more clearly what's the role of the Board of Trustees in umbrella funds and what's the role of the institutional sponsor, because there does seem to be a fair amount of confusion in the current legislative environment. I think there is now a need for fresh thinking, and I think it's good that National Treasury signalled this in the budget by saying we need to review umbrella funds. We've got a model. We've got challenges, as we've said, but we've also got some successes. And let's build on the successes, but try to overcome the challenges. And probably the key way to do it is not to take 1956 legislation that doesn't mention the word umbrella fund at all, that doesn't mention the institutional sponsor standing behind an umbrella fund, and try to tinker with that legislation. That creates the challenges that we've mentioned before. Maybe we need to start back to basics and say, if we had this model, we designed it for the first time, what would be the appropriate legislation? And maybe the Pension Fund Act as it exists right now needs to be chucked out the window, and we start from scratch and get the legislation right. And I think we can make it win-win for everybody.